Hello dear students, welcome back. This is your lecture number 11. In this session we will see stability of floating bodies and submerged bodies. In previous lecture we saw your buoyancy and principle of rotation and we solved some numerical on that. So we will continue from there. Stability of bodies in fluid. So here we'll see first is stability condition for submerged bodies. A submerged body can be in stable equilibrium, unstable equilibrium or neutral equilibrium. So we'll see that these are the condition of stable, unstable and neutral. So suppose there is a body submerged means it's completely submerged. Suppose I am assuming the body is completely submerged under the liquid. Okay. So here in this case, if center of buoyancy is above the center of gravity or center of gravity is below center of buoyancy, then the body will be in stable equilibrium. Okay, so let's draw this axis of the body. Suppose this is the axis of body. Okay, and our condition is center of buoyancy. Suppose I assume this as B, center of buoyancy, and this is center of gravity. Okay, if center of buoyancy is above center of gravity, then the body will be in stable equilibrium. So we'll see, suppose if I give angular displacement to the body, suppose this is the applied torque, we are applying torque in this direction, then the new position of body will be, okay, suppose this is the new position, so axis of body will change to a straight line, right? So now the point B is above point G, and from the G there will be weight acting downwards, and from the B there will be a buoyant force. See, this is the applied torque direction. Opposite to the applied torque, there will be a restoring couple here. Because of this buoyant force and weight W, there will be a restoring couple. Okay, so this is your restoring couple. This is applied torque. Okay, so see this, to balance this applied torque, there will be a matching restoring couple, and the body will try to take its original position. That's why we will say the body will be at stable equilibrium. Okay, stable equilibrium means if we give some angular displacement, then the body will try to regain its original position. That means the body will be at stable equilibrium. Okay, if the body do not try to regain its original position and it moves, if it moves further, then the body will be at unstable equilibrium. Okay, so suppose when center of buoyancy is below center of gravity, if center of buoyancy is below center of gravity, this is the axis of body, and for unstable equilibrium, center of buoyancy is below center of gravity. That means buoyant force is acting in this direction and weight is acting in this direction. If I apply torque here, what would be the direction of this couple because of buoyant force and weight? Will it be in this direction? So this couple direction is in the same direction of applied torque. So this couple will overturn the body. So this is overturning couple. Okay, so when center of buoyancy is below center of gravity, then there will be overturning couple and the body will try to move further. It will not regain its original position. Okay, but when center of buoyancy is above center of gravity or center of gravity is below center of buoyancy, then there will be a matching restoring couple that will help in regaining its original position. Okay, and when center of gravity and center of buoyancy coincides, then the body will be in neutral equilibrium. Neutral equilibrium means the couple value will be 0. There will be no restoring couple or overturning couple. Okay, because of angular displacement only, the body will move that much distance. It will not move further. Okay, so this is your stability condition for submerged bodies. Similarly, we can see stability condition for floating or partially submerged bodies. Okay. To understand this stability condition of for floating bodies, first we have to understand metacenter. What is metacenter? Metacenter is the point about which body oscillates when an angular displacement is given to the floating body. So you will get metacenter only in floating bodies, and if you give an angular displacement to the floating bodies, the body will try to oscillate about a particular point, and the point about which the body oscillates when given a small angular displacement, that point is called your metacenter. So next task is how to locate metacenter. Metacenter कहाँ पे है, कैसे पता चलेगा? It can be located by drawing a vertical line through new center of buoyancy to the axis of body. The point of intersection is metacenter. Let's understand this from one example. Suppose this is the floating body. That means there is some height of submergence. Suppose this is the height, total height of the body is capital H, and small h is your height of submergence in this liquid. Okay, and this is axis of body. Okay, now if there is a small angular displacement given to the body, then what would be its new position? Suppose this is the new position here. Okay, now let's draw its axis. Earlier center of gravity, suppose here center of buoyancy means what? Centroid of the displaced volume. So this is, if this is the displaced volume, then center of buoyancy definitely it would be here below the G. Okay, for this case the displaced volume had changed when we applied this angular displacement. See, earlier the displaced volume was this. Now check, the displaced volume had changed. That's why the centroid of this volume will also change. And suppose this is your new centroid of the volume, and centroid of the displaced volume is center of buoyancy. So B has changed to B dash now. Okay, and if I produce this line, this is force of buoyancy, then it will meet the axis of body at some point. And suppose this is your center of gravity G, then the line of action of this buoyant force will meet your axis of the body at some point. That point is your metacenter. Okay, so it can be located by drawing a vertical line through the new center of buoyancy to the axis of body. The point of intersection is your metacenter. So the body oscillates about this point, this center, the body oscillates. Okay, now see here, in this condition metacenter is above center of gravity. If G is here, so W weight will be acting downwards, buoyant force will be acting upwards, and this is your torque direction. So check what would be the couple direction here. Will it be this direction? Will it be this direction? See here. So this couple will try to restore or overturn. This is your applied torque. Tell me, this generated torque will restore or overturn? Definitely it will restore. So it is a restoring couple. So that's why this condition is your stable condition. For stable equilibrium, this point meta center should be above center of gravity. Now, if suppose this is the axis of body, okay, and if this is your CG of body, G, and if meta center lies below the center of gravity, that means meta center lies below the center of gravity means definitely center of buoyancy will be somewhere here, B dash, okay, that's why intersection is going here. Then check the direction of this couple. We are giving applied torque in this direction, and this couple also will be in the same direction, isn't it? If meta center lies below center of gravity, this couple will also be the same direction of applied torque. So this will overturning couple. So when meta center lies below center of gravity, then the couple will try to overturn. So definitely it will be a unstable equilibrium. It will try to move further, it will try to give further angular displacement. Okay, see this, when meta center is above center of gravity, there will be a restoring moment and body will be in stable equilibrium. When meta center lies below center of gravity, there will be a overturning moment and body will be in unstable equilibrium. And when meta center and center of gravity coincides, body will be in neutral equilibrium. Okay, fine. Can we move to next slide? So here in this slide we'll try to find out metacentric height, the determination of metacentric height. Okay, first method is your analytical method, then we'll see experimental method. Okay, check the first analytical method. Here suppose this one your G and center of buoyancy, earlier it was vertical, now because of angular displacement still they are in straight line. Okay, suppose new center of buoyancy has changed to this one, B dash from B, and this is your G, center of gravity. If I produce this line B dash, it will intersect at some point, suppose, and this point of intersection is your meta center. Now tell me, this body is in stable equilibrium or unstable equilibrium? Gm, m is above G, so Gm is greater than 0, that means it is positive. Okay, how to find this metacentric height? Metacentric height means distance between meta center and center of gravity. Please write. And meta center. Distance between center of gravity and meta center is the metacentric height. Okay. How to find this Gm? Can I write Gm is equal to Bm minus Bg? Yes or no? What is Bm? Bm is equal to, please remember, I least by V minus Bg. What is I least? Means least moment of inertia. Okay, the least moment of inertia of plan section of, suppose this is a rectangular body, and if the cross section is a rectangle, then least moment of inertia will be dBq by 12. Okay, similarly this V is your submerged volume. Okay, please write. So Gm is equal to I by V minus Bg. Please put this in a box. Gm equal to I by V minus Bg. Bg is the distance between center of buoyancy and center of gravity. Okay, and this one is your submerged volume. We'll see this from an example. Can you tell me one thing? What is restoring couple? Here, suppose this is your applied torque here, something T. Can you find restoring couple value here? Restoring couple value. This is your buoyant force here, and in this direction there will be weight W. Okay. If this angle is theta, angular displacement is theta, then what would be the restoring couple value? Will it be equal to this one? W into this value. This value is how much? Will it be equal to Gm sin theta? So restoring couple value is W into Gm sin theta. Okay. In experimental method, let's take this example here. This is a ship, and over the ship there is a very small weight. Small weight is W, and weight of the ship is capital W. Okay. After giving some angular displacement, this is your final position of ship. So buoyancy changed from B to B1, center of gravity changed from G to G dash. Then can I write W into G dash is equal to this small w into x. X is the distance traveled by this small weight. After giving angular displacement, ये W जो है, ये छोटा सा जो वेट है वो x डिस्टेंस ट्रैवल किया. ओके. अगर हमने कितना एंगुलर डिस्प्लेसमेंट दिया है, थीटा एंगुलर डिस्प्लेसमेंट दिया है, तो सेंटर ऑफ ग्रेविटी हैज चेंज फ्रॉम G to G डैश, सेंटर ऑफ बुओयेंसी चेंज फ्रॉम B to B1. तो W into G डैश, दिस वन इज G डैश परपेंडिकुलर. तो G डैश यहाँ पे, तो यहाँ पे 90 डिग्री है. तो कैन आई राइट W into Gm tan theta is equal to W into x. So from here we can calculate Gm equal to W into x by W, capital W tan theta. Okay. This is the experimental way of calculating metacentric height. So let's put this in a box. Okay. Next is time period of oscillation. What is time period of oscillation? This is calculated by the expression T equal to 2 pi square root of K square G and Gm. Okay. T is your time period of oscillation and K is your here radius of gyration and Gm is your metacentric height. Okay, that means time period is inversely proportional to square root of Gm. So if time period of oscillation is more, then metacentric height will be less. And even time frequency will be how much then? Frequency is 1 by time period. So if time period is more, frequency of oscillation is less. If time period is more, metacentric height is less. For better stability, metacentric height should be more. If metacentric height is more, then time period of oscillation of less, right? For stability, Gm should be more. If Gm is more, then time period of oscillation is less and frequency of oscillation is more. Okay, so for stability condition, for a floating body, frequency of oscillation should be more, right? Now tell me, so there are two ships, suppose one is cargo ship and one is war ship. Okay, so whose frequency of oscillation will be more, cargo or war ship? स्टेबिलिटी कहाँ चाहिए, वॉर शिप में चाहिए ज्यादा या कार्गो शिप में ज्यादा चाहिए? डेफिनेटली वॉर शिप में स्टेबिलिटी ज्यादा चाहिए. इफ स्टेबिलिटी ज्यादा चाहिए तो फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ ऑसिलेशन ज्यादा होगा और कंफर्ट लेवल उसकी वजह से कम होगा। बट फॉर कार्गो शिप स्टेबिलिटी से ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है कंफर्ट, तो फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ ऑसिलेशन कम होगा एंड स्टेबिलिटी भी कम होगा कंपेयर टू वॉरशिप, राइट। तो फॉर वॉरशिप your metacentric height value is 1.3 to 1.8, but for cargo ship it is up to 1. Okay, this is your metacentric height gm value. Let's put this in a box. Now tell me one thing, have you come across this word pitching and rolling? Whenever a body oscillates, then these two conditions may arise, pitching and rolling. Suppose this is the top view or plan section of a ship, and I am assuming that ship plan section is your a rectangle. Okay, this is your longitudinal axis of the ship. If the ship oscillates about this longitudinal axis, sidewise movement हो रहा है अगर, then this condition is called rolling. And if the body oscillates about transverse axis, मतलब फ्रंट और बैक ऐसे ऐसे मूवमेंट कर रहा है, ऐसे ऐसे कर रहा है, फ्रंट एंड बैक, then it is pitching. So if this is the condition, then pitching. So can I write this? Pitching means मूवमेंट कैसा है पिचिंग के लिए, ऐसा है। ओके, वाटर में ऐसा मूवमेंट कर रहा है, दैट इज पिचिंग। एंड रोलिंग में क्या होगा, साइड वाइज मूवमेंट कर रहा है, इधर से इधर से। ओके, नाउ टेल मी व्हिच इज मोर डेंजरस, पिचिंग और रोलिंग? स्टेबिलिटी कहां पे ज्यादा होगा, फॉर पिचिंग और रोलिंग? रिमेंबर, मेटासेंट्रिक हाइट फॉर पिचिंग is greater than metacentric height for rolling. So in case of pitching, stability will be more compared to rolling. So rolling में ज्यादा खतरा है। Okay. You know, I forgot to mention one thing. What is BM here? BM also called as metacentric radius. Okay, GM is your metacentric height, and BM, distance between center of buoyancy and metacenter, is your metacentric radius. Okay. So now this is complete. We can solve few numerical. Question number 1. For the stability of a floating body under the influence of gravity alone, which of the following is true? Option A, B, C or D. Metacenter below CG, metacenter above CG, metacenter CG lie on horizontal plane, metacenter CG must. Option B. For a floating body, buoyant force acts at, कहां पे buoyant force एक्ट करता है? सिंपल, ऑप्शन ए बी सी डी, कौन सा ऑप्शन है? सेंट्रॉइड ऑफ द डिस्प्लेस्ड फ्लूइड, तो ऑप्शन डी, वेरी सिंपल। नेक्स्ट, a cube of side 100 mm is placed at the bottom of an empty container on one of its faces. Okay, the density of the material of cube is given, liquid of density is given, is now poured into the container. The minimum height to which the liquid needs to be poured into the container for the cube to just lift up. क्वेश्चन समझ में आया कि नहीं? तो यहाँ पे क्या है ना, एक कंटेनर है, सब यहाँ पे एक कंटेनर दिया गया है। ओके, कंटेनर में एक क्यूब है, इनसाइड द कंटेनर एक क्यूब है, क्यूब, और हम क्या कर रहे हैं, कंटेनर में लिक्विड पोर कर रहे हैं, डाल रहे हैं। और कितना हाइट लिक्विड डालने से ये जो है ना, ये क्यूब, ये ग्राउंड से ऊपर उठ जाएगा? Okay, the minimum height to which the liquid needs to be poured, this liquid height into the container for the cube to just lift up. जब ऊपर चला जाएगा तो नॉर्मल रिएक्शन कुछ लगेगा क्या? नहीं. So if center of gravity is this and center of buoyancy is this, then try to write equation first. Direction of center of buoyancy upward, center of gravity, the weight acting at center of gravity downward. So this is W and this is force of buoyancy. Can I write W is equal to buoyant force plus normal reaction? Okay, but we will add liquid up to height h so that n becomes 0. नॉर्मल रिएक्शन 0 जब तक हो जाएगा, जब तक ये ग्राउंड से ऊपर उठ जाएगा, मीन्स नॉर्मल रिएक्शन 0 हो जाएगा, तब तक हमें पानी डालना है या लिक्विड डालना है. ओके, so in that condition W will be the buoyant force, weight of the body will be the buoyant force, that is equal to buoyant force equal to weight of fluid displaced. Okay, now equate this. What is weight? Weight of the body is how much? Rho G and V. Rho of body, G volume of body is equal to weight of fluid displaced, rho of fluid, G volume of fluid displaced, G got cancelled. Okay, now what is rho of body? It's given 800 into volume of body. What is volume? A cube of side 100 mm, right? Volume of body will be 100 cube. This is mm. So can I write 0.1 meter is equal to density of fluid is how much? 1000 into your volume of fluid. How much? Area into height. Area is a square. Area is 0.1 square into height. Now find this. 0.1 cube, 0.1 square got cancelled. So here 800 into 0.1, that is equal to 80 is equal to 1000 H. So what is H now? H equal to how much? 80 divided by 1000, that is in meter. So if I multiply 1000, we will get in mm. So H is equal to how much? 80 mm. Okay, understood? Next, question number 4. A rectangular block 5 meter long and 2 meter width is floating in water. The water line is 0.4 meter above the bottom and center of gravity is 0.8 meter from the bottom. Then the body metacentric height will be. Now let's draw a body, a block. CG is at distance 0.8 meters. CG is at 0.8 meters. And from the bottom, and center of buoyancy and the water line is 0.4 meter above the bottom. So here this is your water line. Water is at 0.4 from the bottom. Okay, is it correct? Check. So this is your G, center of gravity is 0.8 meter and the surface, the height of submergence is 0.4 meter. So where would be the center of buoyancy? Here at 0.2 meter distance from the bottom, correct? So what would be the distance between B and G? Will it be equal to 0.8 minus 0.2? So BG is equal to this much, 0.6. Now we have to find metacentric height. What is metacentric height? Metacentric height can be written as Bm minus Bg. What is Bm? Bm is least moment of inertia divided by submerged volume minus Bg. So here This plan of the body is a rectangle of length 5 mm, length 5 meter and width 2 meter. So least moment of inertia would be how much? 5 into 2 q by 12. How much then? 40 by 12. So 10 by 3. Then submerged volume is how much? Area into height. Area is how much? Area, cross sectional area is how much? 2 into 5 into submerged volume. How much? 0.4. 10 into 0.4. So 4 meter cube. Okay, now you put this value. This is 10 by 3 divided by 4 minus 0.6. So how much you are getting? Is it equal to 0.23 meter? The next question, this is the last question of today's class. So metallic cube of side 10 centimeter, density is 6.8 gram per centimeter cube, is floating in liquid mercury, density given, with 5 centimeter height of cube exposed above the mercury level. Water is filled over this to submerge the cube fully. The new height of cube exposed above mercury level. So there are two conditions. Look, first, there is a metallic cube. Okay, cube side 10 centimeter. Fine. Floating with 5 centimeter cube exposed above the mercury level. Okay, okay. So total this is 5 centimeter and submergence is also 5 centimeter because total height of this cube is 10. This is your initial condition. First, the second, what we will do, we'll put water over it. If we'll put water over it, this position of the body will change. So now, suppose this height of mercury is A, the rest height will be equal to 10 minus A. So after putting water, so you have A height of mercury and 10 minus A height of water. Let's denote this. This is the water here. Water is filled up to the top level. Okay. So 10 minus A height of water is filled and A height of mercury you have now. This is your final position. Find the new height of the cube exposed above mercury level. So find 10 minus A according to our notation. Okay. Can I write force of buoyancy at the second condition? Force of buoyancy will be equal to weight of fluid displaced, and this block is partially submerged in water and partially submerged in mercury. Some portion submerged in water, so some portion is submerged in what? Your mercury. So can I write this is equal to your weight of the body? So in this case, we'll get equation weight of fluid displaced in water plus weight of fluid displaced in mercury. So rho of water G, then volume in water plus rho of mercury G, then percentage of volume in mercury will be equal to its weight of the body. So what is rho W? Rho W is 1000, isn't it? Rho W is given. Let's keep everything in centimeter CGS unit because options are in centimeter now. So rho W 1 into 9.81. The volume of water is how much? Area into height. Height is given 10 minus A into area. Area means cube. It is the cube. So A square or 10 centimeter square plus rho Hg. Mercury is given 13.6 into 9.81. It is gram. So volume of mercury A into 10 square is equal to weight of body. Weight of body, rho of body is how much? 6.8. 6.8 into 9.81 into volume of body. Volume of body is 10 cube. Okay. So here from here 10 square and 10 square got cancelled. 9.81, 9.81, 9.81 got cancelled. So 10 minus A plus 13.6 A is equal to 6.8 into 10, so is equal to 68. Or I can write 12.6 A is equal to 58. 68 minus 10. So how much is A? A will be equal to 58 divided by 12.6. How much is that? Is equal to 4.6 centimeters. So A, the height of submergence in mercury is 4.6 centimeter. Now they are asking the new height of Q exposed above mercury level. Above mercury level means 10 minus A. So 10 minus A means 10 minus 4.6 is how much? 5.4. This will be your correct option, option B. So with this we have concluded our fluid statics part. So you must be able to solve previous gate question of fluid statics, fluid properties. Okay. And my suggestion to everyone will be to make a formula note and revise that formula note daily basis. Okay. And next chapter, fluid kinematics, my colleague will take that, and later on I will take fluid dynamics part. Okay. So try to solve maximum number of questions, that will build your confidence. Okay. Thank you.